Arguments put up by the petitioners highlighted the legitimacy of certain modifications that the Parliament introduced to overturn the results of Golaknath v. State of Punjab. The legitimacy of 3 constitutional amendments, the 24th, 25th, and 29th Amendments, was specifically contested by the petitioners. Kesavananda Bharati case. Summary: 1972's 25th Constitutional Amendment Act. The scope of the Parliament's ability to use its constitutional amendment authority. The issue that was at issue in the case additionally included was Parliament's ability to change the Constitution unrestricted. In other words, could Parliament change, amend, or even repeal any part of the Constitution to the point that all essential rights were eliminated? Contentions of the petitioners. Petitioners argued that because the Parliament's authority to alter the Constitution is constrained, they are unable to do it in the way they would like. In accordance with the ruling made by Justice Mudholkar in the case of Sajjan Singh Thafari, State of Rajasthan, the Parliament is not permitted to rewrite the Constitution in order to alter its fundamental design. Whether the following is legal under the Constitution: Constitutional Amendment Act of 1971, Section 24 issues before the court. They claimed that the Article 19(1) fundamental right was violated by the 24th and 25th Constitutional Amendments, EF. Contentions of the respondents. According to the state, the supremacy of the Parliament is the fundamental tenet of the Indian legal system, and as such, it has unrestricted authority to modify the Constitution. The respondents emphasized that the Parliament's unrestricted ability to modify the Constitution must be upheld if it is to fulfill its socio-economic commitments. Landmark principles on Kesavananda Bharati case. In the Kesavananda case 1973, the Supreme Court established some landmark principles as the 24th Amendment Act was upheld. It affirmed the first provision of the 25th Amendment Act, but declared the second clause unconstitutional on the grounds that judicial review is a fundamental aspect of the Constitution and that, as a fundamental structure, 31C must be subject to judicial review and cannot therefore be eliminated. Golaknath's decision was overturned, and it was found that Parliament can amend the Constitution, but only in accordance with its fundamental principles. Fundamental rights can be changed. It was decided to adhere to the basic structure doctrine. It was claimed that judges could review court decisions. Kesavananda Bharati case 1973. Judgment. The historic ruling, handed down on April 24th by a razor-thin 7.6 vote, held that any provision of the Indian Constitution may be amended by the Parliament in order to fulfill the socio-economic guarantees made to the people in the preamble, so long as the amendment did not fundamentally alter the Constitution. However, the minority's dissenting opinion cautioned against handing the Parliament unrestricted amending power. The 24th Amendment to the Constitution was completely legal according to the court. However, it determined that the second section of the 25th Constitutional Amendment was unlawful. Because judicial review is a fundamental component and cannot be removed, the Supreme Court determined Article 31C to be illegal and unlawful. The court maintained the legislation that eliminated the fundamental right to property, despite the court's decision that Parliament cannot violate fundamental rights. According to the court, the modification wouldn't go against the fundamental structure of the Constitution in spirit. The doctrine of basic structure. The concept of the doctrine of basic structure has been explained in the points below. The German Constitution, which was altered to protect some fundamental laws following the Nazi era, is where the basic structure philosophy has its roots. As a result of that experience, the new German Constitution placed significant restrictions on Parliament's ability to change certain provisions it deemed to be fundamental legislation. The fundamental structure theory has served as the cornerstone of judicial examination of all laws enacted by Parliament in India. No law may alter the fundamental framework, but there has been ongoing discussion on what the fundamental structure should be. The list is not all-inclusive, but courts uphold secularism, parliamentary democracy, and fundamental rights as the essential framework. The judiciary is in charge of determining what the fundamental elements of the structure are.